Hi, I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to my cartoon video for March 28th, 2025. We have a cartoon here, folks, that there's a lot to unpack in. So let's have a go at it. First of all here is President Trump in the Oval Office with Pete Hegseth, his Secretary of Defense. And amid this conversation, the president is backing Hegseth in the course of the conversation that I wrote for them. And here he's also has on the wall a past video of President Vladimir Putin retaking Kursk in Ukraine, and he much admires Vladimir Putin from things he said about him, and he's basically pointing out his military uniform and admiring the power that it purports, and he's also here discussing about the situation with his feelings about Greenland, that the United States has to take back, not to take back, that's the Panama Canal. He has to take Greenland because of it's an international and national security threat if we don't, and also basically, and that's because of the Russian influence in the Antarctica and up there and all that's going on. So he feels also that there could be, as I'm expanding on that to give you a little insight into why that nobody's talking about, perhaps, and why is that as a result of the heating of the Earth, the ice, all the ice up there is melting, and when that melts, it's easier to get to the minerals below. So a lot of people feel there could be tremendous wealth, and we're talking about rare earth, like that's a rarity that we need, and the possibility of that, and also in terms of the Antarctic being a very, very valuable piece of real estate now coming into play. So here is, and Greenland is right up there. Yeah. So here is basically the drawing that I did to convey all that was going on here, and President Trump, in the course of this conversation that I wrote, he mentions Vice President J.D. Vance, who's scheduled to go to Greenland soon, and all that comes up, and President Trump, I don't want to give away the cartoon before I speak it out, but this is the scenario that I want to give to you right here. Yeah, again, here is Pete. There he is. See? Okay. There's President Trump, and there is Russian President Putin in Kursk. We're taking Kursk, and a photo that I created. There was no, I didn't draw this off of any photograph. I created this. So this is my creation, 100%. To show power and strength and the uniform that he was wearing. Okay, now with that in mind, I want to show you here what exactly is going on here. Now, here is Yemen. Okay, now this is where the Houthis have been attacking. They have all these sophisticated missiles that obviously they got from Iran, and they're all these missiles that with some high level technology that they've been successful in attacking ships and vessels, and they've come close. I don't think actually a missile's hit one of our vessels yet, but they've come close, and these are advanced weapons that the Houthis acquired from Iran, and so they're here, right over here in Yemen, and they're occupying this area of Yemen. They are rebels. In other words, these are rebels backed by Iran that are in a section of Yemen that they've kind of taken over, And from that section, they're launching missiles at all these ships going through the Red Sea here. And you could see why this is a powder keg, this whole area. I've tried to draw everything here. You see? Now, you've got here all these countries bunched up together here. Okay? Now you got here. Here's the next to this right here is the Gaza Strip. You see what all that business there, the Gaza Strip here, and you got Israel, and you've got here this right little tiny dot there is the Gaza Strip here. That's the Gaza Strip. That's Israel. This is Gaza right here. I'm just going to zoom in on it. That's Gaza, you see, and there's the Mediterranean that President Trump alluded to. What he said it would be a great tourist to develop that into another French Riviera because it's off the Mediterranean Sea here. It'd be a nice beachfront property to develop hotels and stuff, you know. So anyway, so that's, and this is Syria here, which is another situation. I don't want to get into this now. I'm focusing on my cartoon, but I want to give you the overall picture. So these missiles have been hitting here, and all these ships, this is what my emphasis is, go through here, and they go through the Suez Canal, they go through into the Mediterranean, which takes them on up to Europe. So if they can't use this route, they have to go all the way around South Africa to get to that European destination, which means a lot more money, a lot more time. And so President Trump now is taking upon himself to do this and go more and more. He's taking more action than President Biden took in terms of attacking the more missile, I suppose, more of their missile structure and individuals who are leading them. That's the given. That is true. That's I heard that they did kill a Houthi leader, or one or two of them, in their strike. So all that here, you see, and that they were able to do because of intelligence. Now I'm saying, I'm just going to inject this. People who gave us this, we had to have some intelligence on the ground somewhere, and people who gave this, we need intelligence. We need intelligence, and it's so important that our intelligence be held in the strictest confidence and not be broadcasted on things like, on apps, that could be compared to, let's say, WhatsApp. Could be compared to that. More secure than WhatsApp, perhaps, maybe, but not as secure as a government phone or a government use of a government instrument or communication device would have been. So they use their own cell phones. And that's basically what happened here, how that was the scenario for how this information got released. So I'm going to give that to you. Again, I want to show you here, again, the Red Sea going into the Suez Canal. There's the Suez Canal, and it goes into the Mediterranean right up here to Europe. And they would have had to take a long trip around South Africa, those vessels now, to avoid this danger as a result of the Houthi missile attacks and stuff. Okay, so that lays the groundwork. Now, here, basically, is the introduction. I'm going to read that to you, and so I get it really squared away in presenting it. Richard's Trump in Oval Office meeting with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, amid Hegseth facing pressure to resign after the full transcript of Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, is released, with transcript revealing sensitive attack plans about an upcoming attack on Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. These are rebels who've taken over a part of Yemen. That's why they're called rebels, because they are, I suppose, intent on taking over the country, and they've occupied this land here. where they're attacking from. Partly because the Houthis' attacks on vessels in the Red Sea had caused hundreds of commercial vessels to be rerouted to sail around South Africa. Given the transcript came from a group chat meeting of top Trump officials that included National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who admitted and took responsibility, he did do that, admitted and took responsibility for inviting Goldberg to join this meeting. Okay, now wonder how this might have happened. So I thought of a way that this might have happened, and I'm just going to kind of imitate it to you on my own cell phone, because they were using a cell phone. They should have been using a government communication device that would have been a lot more secure, fully secure, that people, established officials, have recommended in the past for them to use. So they were really, doing their own thing, let's say. Okay, so here's how it might have gone with Waltz. Okay, our Secretary of National Security. Okay, Waltz. Okay, here's how it might have gone. Let's see here. There goes Marco Rubio, got him. There goes John Ratcliffe, got him. There goes Tulsi Gabbard, got her. Jeffrey Goldberg, Jeffrey Goldberg. That sounds like one of President Trump's envoys to the Mideast. It could be an envoy of President Trump's to the Mideast. Okay, there goes Jeffrey Goldberg. That's a little amusing thing I thought I'd work in there to show. I don't know how he did that, but that's just an example of what could have happened. And I figured I would work that in here. So anyway, getting back here now, given the transcript came from a group chat meeting of top Trump officials that include National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who admitted accidentally inviting Goldberg to join. That via the use of the Signal messaging app. The Signal is more secure than WhatsApp, but it's still they're using their cell phones, and it's not really 100% secure. It could be hacked into. And in the past, officials have warned against using that. It's been documented that has been warned. I've tried to research this as much as I could before presenting it to you. On their cell phones, which some experts say could have resulted in a breach of security. And Hegseth implying questions directed at him were part of an overall witch hunt that President Trump also said this was a witch hunt on all these Democrats and some Republicans now who are calling for an investigation here. So he has to be calling some of these Republicans part of the witch hunt because they are getting on board to support an investigation into this. Some Republicans are, not all of them. Okay, I'm screaming. So Hegseth went like this. Russia, Russia, Russia. It's Russia, Russia, Russia again. It reminded me, now I'm just giving you the truth here. It reminded me of the Aflac duck. The Aflac duck and the Aflac duck commercial, those old Aflac insurance company. It goes, Aflac, Aflac, Aflac. That's what it reminded me of. Russia, Russia, Russia. It kind of reminded me of that. So again, I just threw that in there. So anyway, that's that. Okay, now, there's another aspect to this conversation that they're having here, and that's J.D. Vance is soon to embark on a trip to Greenland. Now, the people in Greenland don't see this as a real vacation trip for Vance. Last I heard, his wife was going with him. I don't know if she's still going with him or not, but that was the last I heard. Because a lot of people in Greenland are not very enthused about Vance going there, and I think his going there, the group has been brought down, and I don't think he's going to be staying at any of the any fancy hotels there. I think he'll probably stay at an American military base instead of staying at a luxury hotel, because I don't think he feels too secure there, because a lot of the people in Greenland don't want us feel that we're using this as a prelude to an invasion, because President Trump again has said that we need Greenland and for national and international security, and the world needs the United States for the world needs the United States to control Greenland. So he's President Trump speaking for the world now. He spoke for the United States. Now he's going beyond the United States. Now he's speaking for the world. He's speaking that the world needs the United States to control Greenland. Those were President Trump's words, okay, that he said, okay? Now, here's a quote from J.D. Vance that he recently said here. J.D. Vance said, quote, Denmark not doing its job. Now, Denmark is basically what Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. It's part, and it's self-autonomous. It runs itself. It's its own democracy. It's a democracy run by itself. It's a self-governing country under Denmark's kingdom. It has its own, like I said, parliamentary democracy, and there's a king. King Frederick is the ceremonial head of state. So he's like King Charles of England. He's a figurehead, head of state, but he doesn't have anything to say in the policy of the government or anything like that. He's just a figurehead in as the British have with their King Charles. He's a figurehead here, and it is a self-running democracy under the Kingdom of Denmark. So Vance now is he's going a little different way than President Trump went. He's saying that it's Denmark's fault that we have to invade because they're not doing their job as an ally to the United States with respect to Greenland. Okay? J.D. Vance said, Denmark not doing its job, not being a good ally. This is a quote, good ally. If that means we need to take more territorial interest in Greenland, you know what that means, territorial interest, That is what President Trump is going to do. So that's what President Trump is going to do. And President Trump said, we need Greenland. This is President Trump. We need Greenland for national and international security. And again, the world needs us to control Greenland. Okay? So that's that. I repeated that, but that's an important point here. Okay, now, here is the cartoon. I think there's one other thing I wanted to show you here. Yeah. Now, here, before we get to that, I want to show you this map that I drew here of Kursk. Now, here is Kursk. Here is Ukraine, you see, and here is Kursk. And you got here, you see here, that here's Moscow, you see, and you've got Russia over here. Now, Russia stretches around all this way here, you see. So, if you want to send a security force to protect it, and even to set up like a buffer of some sort, a military buffer to protect Ukraine from Russian aggression, you'd have to, you see, here's Belarus, you see, Belarus right here, where they could come from Belarus right into Kiev, because Belarus would permit them to do that, and I think they have moved their troops, the Russians have, in the past done that, and they tried to take Kiev at the beginning of their Ukraine invasion, and they were not able to do that. That's what they thought. They cut off the head of Ukraine by taking Kiev, and that didn't happen. So they got bogged down here. For years now, they've been bogged down in fighting Ukraine, and it's been a kind of a stalemate. Basically, it's true, a stalemate. But the Ukrainians against a force like Russia is you could argue is a victory against a force like Russia, a Russian invasion. A stalemate against a Russian invasion is for a country like Ukraine is a victory in a sense, and it is a victory because they withstood that type of assault. You see, so Putin had all his military lined up here, ready to go, and he went. So they've been able to. This is all area that the Russians occupy here, you see. Okay, this is where it started. They first took the Crimea under the Obama administration, and then under Biden, they took this area they got, and here And here, what the Ukrainians did, they figured themselves, they're never going to take over Russia. They didn't this is cursed. This is a cursed region in Russia. The Ukrainians never in the world thought they could conquer Russia and take over that country. They did this as symbolic to try also and to give them a bargaining tool, because they knew eventually they couldn't be a military victory, and they wouldn't permit the Russians to have one, and they couldn't really get. So they knew eventually that it'd have to be a negotiated peace. And so they wanted to use this cursed region as a bargaining tool. So what happened is, just before the negotiations, Putin came in here and he took back Kursk with all his forces. And right before so he waited. See, Putin's pretty smart here. He waited here before the negotiations to take back Kursk, because knowing that would remove that negotiating tool. And now President Trump is in power, and President Trump cut off Ukraine for a very brief time. He cut off their intelligence and things like that, and supplies. So basically, everything fell into place for Putin, and he was able to take back Kursk here. You see there? Now that's back under Russia. So all Zelensky has here to bargain with is basically putting an end to the conflict, and now you got the introduction of North Korean forces as well against them. So there you have that. So now what I'm basically saying here is that Putin has said he doesn't want any security forces there. So I don't see how you could say that because we're going to make a deal with Ukraine, that because we have to make a deal with drilling for earth minerals, and they know we're there, that President Putin would not in time, in 2-3 years, because this would take 10 years to develop, would eventually do that, go back. And so this is all the area. I'm just trying to make the point here, the area that you'd have to secure, because you have to secure over here, the Belarus border. You got to secure over here where they are already ready to go, and it's through Crimea. It's a monumental security job to have a buffer zone there. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I just injected that to give you a picture of what's going on here. And President Trump has admired Putin and said flattered him for his great intelligence in what he did with the invasion. That's true. I read it, and there it was. So with that in mind, I want to introduce you now to this cartoon here. Here it is. Again, there's Pete Hegseth in the Oval Office with President Donald Trump, and there is Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he's watching this video that this is what I created. There was never any picture of him in a tank or anything like this. I created this. This is my creation to show power of President Putin and his green camouflage military uniform that he wore there, and to show real, true power, which President Trump seems to admire greatly. So there was that. Okay. There was the video. Here's President Trump in the Oval Office. And here's Pete Hegseth here. There he is with his American flag handkerchief there, and his tie and everything. Thumbs up. Okay. There's the desk. There's a phone here. Had to give President Trump a phone there, Can't leave President Trump without a phone. Okay, now, here goes the cartoon. Okay. Trump, here he goes. Pete, you have nothing to worry about. You are doing a great job. This is all a witch hunt, as you said, like Russia, Russia, Russia. That's what Pete said. Speaking of Russia, doesn't Putin look like a fantastic warrior here in this video with his troops taking back Russia's Kursk region from Ukraine? After JD gets back from his visit to Greenland, which we must control, I would like to use our superpower influence to visit there myself in a military camouflage uniform like this, just like this. When will you have it? And then Pete goes like this here. Here goes Pete. Here I'm saying, Mr. President, it will be ready in just days. And you don't have to worry about your planned visit leaking out in any Signal chat group. Okay? And then President Trump, we'll go back to President Trump. That was Pete there responding with thumbs up to that idea of making Trump a camouflage military uniform similar to what Putin was wearing there. And he's responding, thumbs up. We'll have it ready very soon, in days. And here is, again, President Trump responding to that, also with a little thumbs up there, saying, President Trump saying, Pete, I'm not worried about that. I just want my new military uniform to be a big surprise for everyone. So he wants everyone to see him for the first time in a military uniform. You know, he don't want nobody, news people making, because they're going to be making stuff and saying this and that. So he wants to just sock it to the world with him being in Greenland with his military uniform, and sock it to the Greenland people to know that he means business about wanting Greenland back. So that's the whole thrust of this cartoon here. And I hope you enjoyed my video and got something out of it. And there it was. And God bless you. God bless America. And may God watch over all our troops all over the world, many stationed in harm's way. And may peace somehow come to Ukraine, and with the Hamas and Israel a war waging on. I don't know. I just hope that somehow we have to pray for peace there, and that's about it. All right, folks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, folks. Bye.